Greetings and welcome to the Cosmic Temple of Unity, where we share our journey from awakening to present moment. I am your co host, Dorota.
And I am Sabina, and we are thrilled to be here with all of you today. And today is Spring Equinox. It's March 18, 2024. This is a special day that we specifically picked for our first podcast journey. And a little bit about that. It's a time of new beginning, of awakening, of growth after being in the winter time when everything was quiet. We were able to think about our things and in our life, and it's time, like we're starting to move right now. So that's where we are today. And I don't know, Dorotka, you want to add something?
Um, Reborn,
Getting
where
reborn.
everything that was sleeping is waking up. So wake up,
Yeah,
wake
wake up. And
up.
this is
Time to wake
actually
up.
and this is actually an amazing transition, or like, yeah, transition for what we're trying to do here. We are stepping into another gateway of me and Dorota, and we're trying to create something new. So we are using this energy, this portal today for that. Um, and we will start with how we were brought together, what brought us together. And later on, talk a little bit more about why this podcast, what are we planning to do with it, and a little bit more. So we talked about that yesterday because I forgot. Dorota reminded me that it was when I was going through my awakening moment, and every awakening moment is very different. For some, it's really intense, and it can be really intense, like very paranormal
Emotional.
almost, and
Yeah.
emotional, and it really depends. I've heard all kinds of stories. Mine wasn't um that, but it made me, just realize that, oh my gosh, there's something that I've never felt before. So that made me kind of like stop in the moment. So a little bit where was I before the whole awakening? So I am Cancerian. I am very emotional zodiac sign. I am pretty much a lot of water, so I feel things very intensely, and I never really knew what that was, what that meant, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, I think I'm crazy because depending on where I was, who I was standing next to, if somebody had any throat issues and they couldn't really speak out their truth, I would feel that in my throat and I couldn't say anything. And things like this. So it was kind of hard, and for a lot of star seeds out there, that's what it is. It's hard for us to be here because we don't really know, what's going on unless we step into that teaching wisdom of energy, what it is, what's happening with us. So I was emotionally intense, very a lot of anger, a lot of different emotions, feeling everybody around me, and constantly looking for something peaceful because, like, we were just having a conversation. We both knew that there is something there, that there's something more to this life, and I was on a search for that, and I didn't really know where it was, how to find it, but I knew that I needed to find it, otherwise I would just not make it. Literally, I would not make
Do
it.
or
i
die, right?
i think I would have ended up in some institution, because it was a lot.
In a safer place.
It was a lot, yes. So my journey definitely started with essential oils because I was in a place where nobody could make me sit down and talk to me and tell me things about me. I did not want to hear it. I wasn't there. My self was so wounded that I really would not absorb that information at all. But oils, you use them and they talk to you in a different way. They don't talk to you with the voice, they talk to you with frequency. So they were able to get to me because I was resonating with them and I was feeling them, and I used them very intuitively. I didn't know that at the time, but I didn't really use any books or anything in the beginning. I was just drawn to the color purple mostly, and these were the oils that I was using. They smelled fantastic. uh, so after using them for a while, that's my moment. Me and a friend of ours and our daughter went to a park for lunch, and Naya was eating some pizza or something with the tomato sauce, and she spilled that tomato sauce all over her white shirt. And normally, I would kind of be very emotionally affected with that. Inside, I wouldn't show it on the outside, obviously, but inside it would be. But this time I said, Naya, honey, that's okay. Mommy will clean it up. And I took a wipe and I started wiping it off. And then I was like, hold on, whoa. And I'm thinking, who said that? That is not something that would come through my thoughts, through my head. And it made me stop and made me think, oh my gosh, what happened? What changed? How did I get here? Like I would be very explosive, a lot of mood swings. This was completely not me. And that day I went home and I started just researching, and reading about these oils. And um, at that time, I think I was using the starter kit, obviously inhaling them in the morning and in the afternoon. And I bought a few extra ones, and I believe it was a while ago. It was probably like over 7 years ago, but I had Lang Lang, and I think Stress Away. And Stress Away, I was intuitively applying on my vein of my left arm. And today we can kind of dissect why that might have been, the feminine side of me, the arm, like being the woman doing things as a woman that needed a lot of healing. And then Lang Lang was on my face. And Lang Lang has to do with heartstrings for one thing. It helps us release those heartstrings. So all the cords that are going to other people. So that's what I learned. And I was like, oh my God, this plants can make you feel better. Sorry.
Oh, doggy, he has something to say too. Oh,
Yeah.
he's saying that it helps with healing heart and it helps with inner child, healing
Yes.
your inner child. So,
Yes. Yeah, Lang Lang is pretty much most of the emotional oils. Amazing. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite oils. So that's what happened, and that's when I started researching things, and that's my awakening story.
so
Pretty
what's
much.
awakening to you? What does it mean to you?
So awakening to me, I guess I would have to say it's that wisdom of knowing that we can heal and that we can change our path. Because before doing that, I had no idea what it meant to be happy. I had no idea that we can do something about it. Life was very rough and tough, and it was just getting in the morning was, very hard, and just existing was really hard. And once I realized, oh, I can change how I feel, there's tools that I can use to do that. That's what awakening is to me. And then, that opens another doorways once we get into that space of healing and heal our thoughts and have our mind quiet. We receive all kinds of information about who we are, where we are from, all the ancestral connections. I mean, the list is endless. So the life becomes way more magical.
Right.
Yeah. As you know.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah. So now I want to ask Dorotka. So how about you? What was, what brought you to this place of
well,
feeling awakened?
first, what's awakening to me? Well, awakening to me is being aware, knowing yourself, the self knowledge, that the knowledge of who you are outside of this visually present physical body, knowing that we can create, that it's not someone standing next to you and pulling strings and doing your life for you. You
Mm-hmm.
are the one who creates
Mm-hmm.
right now your life. Outside of physical life, that realm of spiritual being that exists, and being aware of its presence and how we actually exist. It's not the physical body and then is the soul, is the soul, and that is that physical body, sort of creation of it, projection to the physical. That, like you said, we had a feeling there is something beyond this, but to get to that moment, we had to kind of like walk slowly and unfold. It's for some people, I guess it happens that they are just born with the knowledge. Um, well, we didn't have that easy. We had to,
Mhm.
I think, what comes to my mind is a picture of hard-boiled egg. To get to the center of it, you kind
An
of have to
onion.
crash it. So,
Or an onion, just peeling it off and peeling it off and peeling it off, and you always peel it
yes,
off.
yes, to get
It's a
to who
journey.
you are is walking slowly back to yourself and to the very core of who you are and finding your purpose. And then you feel like you are alive, that you actually
Mhm.
living life,
Mhm.
and you get something from it, and it's amazing switch. It's like something inside of you flips. And
Mhm.
for me, it started, and I think that that's the connection we have with essential oils. I walked into Ambio where in a reception desk, there was a diffuser with oil, and I was like, oh, that smells so good. Where is that? And the girl, young lady, her name is Biara, and she worked there in Ambio. She explained a few things about oils, and I was like, oh, that's intriguing. I want to know more. So then she visited me and brought some more oils, and that's how it started. And on the top of it, she gave me a business card of Sai Shakti healer who I've met a little bit later, and that first Sai Shakti healing was something else. I
What
mean,
is it? What is it exactly? Because I don't think I've heard about that one. There's a lot of modalities out there. Yeah.
well,
So can you tell me?
Sai Shakti healing came from India.
Mhm.
What he said is that Christ was actually studying in India in a time that it's not written down from in a Bible from he's 13 to 33 years old. He was studying in India. But Sai Shakti healing came from there. What I realized, the areas where the hands are being put on is also present in other modalities, slightly different way, but basically is the energy of the energy. I don't call it by names, but the energy goes through, the divine energy goes through you and purifies those energetic centers within you and helps you reconnect with your soul. So that's what I experienced. I had
Mhm.
seeing my soul, and I was like, whoa, I'm so big.
How did you see it? What do you mean? How did you see it? Can you describe?
So tough to describe, but I'll try. So I was definitely feeling expanded, huge.
Mm.
And I saw myself in the same spot where I received that Sai Shakti healing. I was sitting, leaning against the wall and just looking at myself like, wow, I'm big. What is that? Why am I
Mhm.
so big? I don't even fit in a room. There is not enough space. Um, yeah, that's, I don't, visually, I saw myself as myself, but
Okay.
a lot,
But you that it
a
was
lot
that
big.
feeling of self-worth, right? Because I think like
It
when you
was the
see
feeling,
yourself so
yes,
big, you're like, oh my God, I am
yeah, I'm
more
huge.
than I think,
Yeah,
like it was just like this realization. And yeah, I think that's what it is. It's that realization. That's amazing.
yes,
Yeah.
it
And
was.
there's a lot, we have a lot of stories like this, so we will be
Yeah,
sharing them. There's many, well, once you hit the first one, things, interesting things happen, and those are those
yes,
stories. So it's kind of like awakening again on a different level.
yes. So for me, it kind of like walking up in a tall building, and I reached first floor, second floor, and each time the shift happened, I had awareness of the shift happening within me. So next thing that was very surprising to me, I bought what is that emotional kit? Feelings
Feeling
Kit.
skip.
Yeah, I bought the Feelings Kit, and there was CD with Gary Young that would walk you through how to use those essential oils. And that was the really first time when I actually felt the energy of essential oils just going into my body. And I was like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
what is that? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like your body is tingling, vibrating. And I was just sitting on my couch and thinking, wow,
Mm-hmm.
just sit in that and observe. It was
Mm-hmm.
such an experience.
It
Uh,
is.
and I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that until just recently we were doing a 14 days reset with Ninja Red.
Mm-hmm.
And then I signed up for the raindrop kind of like refresh class. And Feelings Kid, one of the kids, I forgot the lady's name. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot your name. You are so important. Forgive me. But she was also talking about that essential that Feelings Kit. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I remember this. So yeah, there is definitely a lot of stories that we
Mm-hmm.
could tell about how we evolved, how we were expanding the awareness and consciousness through our journey. And that's what we want to talk to you guys. We want to tell you our story and hoping that what we have experienced will help you understand what's going on with you, because not everyone is lucky enough to have someone around that would understand and tell you you're not crazy. For one, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing,
Yeah, and
right?
it's a good thing. It's like, so we want to create a place, a temple, a sacred temple, cosmic temple, where all of that information, and there's so much information, and there's no judgment, where we can share it with you guys. So, and there's just so many stories, and it's we come from whatever generation, and like, throughout my journey, my husband, and our cousins and some other friends, we would attend some like Native American ceremonies and this and classes. But at that times, I think a lot of people were kind of shy to share those stories, because they were thinking, oh my God, what somebody else will think and stuff. And we need those stories. We need to be around people who experience that, because then we feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone in this. And many of the star seeds do feel alone, and we're seeking that other soul that will resonate with us. And so we feel like we're at home, because when we are here and we know that there's something bigger, but nobody's talking about it and nobody's doing
Mm.
anything, then it feels like it's rough. So we do want to bring that in. So we will be sharing all kinds of stories.
We also will bring people who would want to share their own stories. There is
Mm-hmm.
so many healing modalities, natural way of balancing our energies. You know that energy comes into your physical being, and if it's not the positive one, it may create issues within your physical body. So
Mm-hmm.
working energetically with energy of plants, of essential oils, and the energy that we are all present in, it helps move through life and much much easier. Because
Mm-hmm.
I do remember myself when I thought that some sort of external being was creating my life and my destiny was set, and this is how I'm gonna live until my last day. I'm just gonna be this woman that had a child and had a husband and had a life, and that's it, and nothing else. And I couldn't live that life.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't doing anything for me. It was empty.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes,
it
there
was
is
a
a
very
child.
material, right? There was a
Yes,
material life, right? But we needed
right.
that spiritual aspect.
Yes, exactly. That
Yeah.
internal connection with however you want to believe what's out there, whatever you want to call that energy that is creating, that created the planets. You want to call it God, you want to call divine, however you're calling it. There is
Mm-hmm.
force that piece of it exists within us, and
Yeah.
we co-create our life and we create everything around us. And
Yes.
just think, if we all wake up to the same music, how beautiful it could be.
Yeah.
That's my
Right.
dream.
And we're a part of it. We're a part of something so big, and we feel so much, like you said, like I call it that sacred intelligence. It's like
Mm-hmm.
we affect things, things affect us. We have to be responsible for our own behaviors and our doing, and we have to be conscious with, how we say things. And once you learn that magic, you have your own wheel and you're driving your life, and you can, change a lot of things and make it fun, and it makes sense, and you want to be here, and you feel like there's a purpose, and you feel like, okay, I'm going to get up tomorrow. And then you get excited. You're like, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen now? What's going to happen next? And then you had this amazing dream, and now you know that it's guidance. Now you know that it's not something killing you, or,
Yes.
like, so we're going to be talking about that stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
not just it's not just as what we do. When I look outside of myself on different teams, I connected with different people in different teams, and what I see recently, it comes to my awareness that everybody are in the same energy, in the same space. Like, you touch something and you work on it and you realize that they are doing it too, and they are doing
mhm,
it too, and
mhm,
like, wow, they don't even know what I'm doing, but they doing it. So the synchronicity, it's just the it's just amazing. I
mhm,
watch that happening. Even the name of the project that they are using, it's just like this year, for example, aromatherapy retreat is about flourishing. Flourish, flourish, flourish. My very first granddaughter, her name is Florencia. Hello.
the
Everything is
synchronicities.
blooming.
Yes, yes, and
Everything is
that's
blooming.
true. And when we quiet our mind, we see those symbols, and we see
Right.
those meanings, and it's like you have a map that you won't be able to see until you decide you will want to see it, until you want to see that your life changing, and you're going to be seeking those things out, and they're always been there, always.
Yes. Yeah.
The guidance has always been there.
So that awareness of how we work internally and what's going on externally, putting this
Hmm.
together,
Hmm.
it makes you feel like there is a space where we all exist together, some way, somehow. We are so connected. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing when you call in for, and sometimes you don't even realize, right? Like that you are
Hmm.
calling for something. You just want something. And when you're in that space, when you can send that information out to the universe, it just comes to you. It's just all you have to do is like, okay, here I am, and I'm open, and just send it my direction. And when it happens, you're like, whoa, I didn't know
Hmm.
that can happen,
Okay.
but it
and
does.
then and then how fast it happens, and
Yeah.
like you're going back to this, it's for me, when I stepped onto this journey, it was so intense. I was so um strong about turning everything off that was negative. I could not listen to any negative words. I could not listen to any negative messages. Anything that showed up on Facebook, any feed, everything that was negative, it was just gone, 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 gone. Once I eliminated that, things changed a lot. I was just, because you get to that sensitive, that's another thing that we can talk about in one of the podcasts. It's when we go through awakening, we get to such a sensitive spot at one time.
Hmm.
And for
Like a
everybody it's
sponge.
different. Yeah, and it lasts longer, and that's when it's like, oh my God, this felt so good, but now it doesn't feel good right now. Like we are so vulnerable, and so it's a lot. So we can describe those things too, and that's gonna help everybody realize that, okay, this is a part of the journey. This is how it looks like. Now we're feeling things more because we open the door to feel those things, and now it's time to clean our web and eliminate, get rid of everything that's not serving our purpose.
Right.
The
The
road
image
to.
of butterfly coming out of the cocoon, or little chick being born, going through that shell. And any birth that you see, fresh grass born in
Yeah.
springtime, going through concrete, going through the soil, how much power it has to have internally to force itself out and to grow. That's how we grow. That's
Yeah.
how we open. That's that first crack in that cocoon when that butterfly is coming out, right?
Yes.
That
And I
first
can't
crack in
drag
the
you
egg.
out of it. You gotta come out of it on your own. That's the whole key. That's the
Exactly.
thing. Like
We
we
can't
have to do the work.
we can't help anyone else but ourselves. But what we can do is tell our story. Every single one of us has a story. Every awakening story is
Mhm.
different. But by sharing that, we can help each other to understand what's really going on. That awakening is not something that is illness. That's a good thing. That's a process. We are here to awake, and the
Mhm.
time that we live in is the time we have chosen. At least that's my belief.
Yes.
Sometimes I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking to choosing this life? I don't
Yeah. But it
know.
was meant to be. That's another thing. You have to accept and forgive, and it was all supposed to be there.
Yes.
And when we're not listening, life will bring lessons. That intelligence will bring
Mm,
us lessons. And depending how much we're not listening, the lesson's gonna get harder. So we have
yeah.
to listen to what's happening.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like that test at school, right? If you
yeah,
don't pass that test, it's gonna keep coming back to you
it's gonna keep
until you
coming back.
pass.
Yes,
Until
yes.
you pass. It could be with different people and different situation, but you still have to pass that thing.
Mm,
And that's most of the time is something that happened in the past, and we don't want to deal with that because it's too painful. But once we touch it, I feel like this is the moment where we actually receive the tools to go through that, and then it's easier.
right.
So, talking about tools, our
Yes,
toolboxes.
yes,
So,
yes. So we talked
outside
a
of
little bit,
essential oils, we
right.
have other things. So, why don't you talk a little bit about your
Okay.
tools, Sabina?
Yes. So there's so much out there that we can try and learn, and it's getting to a point where you're able to, okay, I will go out there and I will seek out my medicine, whatever that is. And we carry our own medicine inside. Um, and the whole spiritual journey is to get to that medicine. So you have to intuitively with your own heart to just be, feel guided and go to the places that will help you. Like some people love the medicine of the plant. Some people love the frequency and music and sound healing and stuff like this. So it all depends. Some people work with their body, like yoga and other things. So it really depends what is your driving force. And once you follow that, you'll find your own tools. So with time, in the beginning of your spiritual awakening or your process of getting spiritually aware, you seek out like oracle decks. You buy yourself a pendulum just to, because in the beginning we got to confirm our theories,
We play.
and we confirm and confirm
Yeah.
and confirm until we get to a point where like, okay, I know this. We trust
Okay.
ourselves now enough to know this. So yes, pendulums, oracle cards, and then you will go for readings because you want to, learn a little bit more about yourself, and you will go for like sessions, Reiki sessions, or some other mediums, and whatever drives your boat. So I collected some tools along my path, and some of them were brought to me kind of through my dreams, or through readings and stuff. For instance, tuning forks. I never knew what tuning forks were until I went for an Akashic reading, and the lady said, there's this ascended master that you're connected with, and she's teaching the sounds of chakras and stuff. And I was just
Mm-hmm.
sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I have no idea. I had no idea what she was talking about. But I went home and I started, so this is the process. You're learning about yourself. So I'm like, okay. And then, we want to buy those tuning forks, but you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many to choose from. So I put it out there to the universe, I want to find the ones that are for me. And one day I went to an event and there they were. And I knew that these were the ones. So I have those. I also love so much sound healing and shamanic music. So I do have a drum that I was gifted. There's a rattle that I acquired as well, and a fan with feathers, and
Because
obviously
you do
essential
those
oils.
rituals, right? Why don't you
Hmm.
say something about those rituals? Because that's very unique to you.
Okay. Yes. So we moved to a place where there's a lot of, different circles and people who are more open to this, and finally it was created again, something that I really wanted. We have a group of people that we um do rituals with pretty much, and we sit together, and it's very channeled sound that comes through us. We sing in a star language. We don't use any English words. It's kind of like plugging yourself into that space of healing and see what comes through. And there's learning with us, because that a lot of stuff comes through, and you're feeling that frequency, and just sitting with other people together. We feel each other. We have past lifetimes together. It's pretty interesting, but that's what we're doing.
Do you connect to specific tribe?
Oh gosh, there's so many tribes. I don't know. Like for me, I started doing this because I always knew that I love the drum, but there was
Mhm.
something that I needed to heal with the drum. And it's a long story. We can share that.
Some other
Yes.
time.
It's one of the
When you
stories
feel like
again.
popcorn and soda, and we have like 5 hours to do
Yes.
that.
Yes,
Or you can come
definitely.
to, where do you live? Tell everyone where
In
you live.
Viroqua, Wisconsin. Where are
There you
you?
go.
And where are you? You're in.
I'm in Cypress, Texas. That's near Houston. So
Yes. So we're
we
very
are
close, but
far,
very
but we're
far away.
close.
Yes, totally. Yes, so I wanted to heal that relationship with the drum, and I said, okay, I gotta do this, and see what's coming.
That's
Yes.
That's a lot. So you have tuning forks, you are using cards, but I think the big part of your life is healing through painting because you are an artist.
Right, yeah. So I also channel information. Excuse me, my cat is really trying to get into the room. Give me 1 second.
Sure. So while Sabina is out, I can talk about my tools. So
All
for
right.
me, I
Go ahead.
start talking about my tools if you don't
Go ahead. Go
mind.
ahead. No, no, no. Go. Yes, yes.
So for me, the energy in general, everything around this energy, it's just different density and different type of vibration, but it's all energy. Definitely essential oils been it's been a while. I'm thinking around 11 years, if so.
Mm.
So I do work with essential oils. I am clinical aromatherapy practitioner. I work with energy, and I call it the source energy, nothing else, just source energy. Um, I have seen that energy of my soul coming and working with me on my clients, and it was amazing. It's always fun to see what's going on when you work
Mm-hmm.
with someone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. I used to sing, but my voice went quiet. And in the present moment, I do guided healing meditation, and that's where that deep voice from my soul comes through and facilitates the healing. I create the space for people who come my way to help with their healing. They heal themselves. I just create the space for it. So meditations and group meditations, one-on-one meditations, which are very, very special, very unique to the one who comes in, works with me, and visualization techniques that help move the energy through and clear those stuffy lines in our energy pipes. Um, yeah, I think that's basically it for me. Still expanding, still learning. Awareness is a huge, huge thing. I have created a class that I'm going to be presenting in aromatherapy retreat. A little nervous about it, but it's working with awareness, moving through your being and recognizing how you are connected internally. And that's really, really important to know yourself and to be able to tell others how you work internally, how those things moving through in your life, and how you can help yourself.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
What else do
My
we have?
pets.
Your pets. I
My
think
pets,
I think they want to help.
they do.
Animals have much bigger energy field than
Mm,
humans, and they are facilitating healing for
mm,
us every single day. Every single
mm,
day. When you see your dog in a window barking because he or she knows that your husband or wife or your kids are coming home, it's because their field is so huge they can feel it in the
mm.
miles that that family member is coming back home.
Right.
They are
They
very,
they're
very.
using their hair. It's like our hair is the antennas we feel through our hair, and the pets, they're very
So if you cut your
um
hair, is your antenna shorter?
I would say so. Native people say don't cut your hair, and that's why they have long hair. And
um,
um yeah, there's a whole story behind that too. But so
I want to hear
also,
it someday.
yes,
We
there's so
gotta
many
talk about
stories
that.
we'll be talking about. That's really important, and what it means when you're losing hair too. So that's a whole topic.
Who was
But
the giant from the story that got his hair cut and then he was weak? And was it Samson and Delilah or something in that area?
oh, I don't even know. I don't think I've heard
There
that
was a
one.
story actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. His
Yeah,
power was in his hair, and once the hair got cut, he had no power. So
that makes
I don't
sense.
know the details, but I'm sure somebody out there knows, and we can definitely research that.
Yeah.
But and what else do we plan to do with this? We will do it in Polish, right? Because we both Polish.
Yes, we both speak in Polish. So
Mm-hmm.
Dorotka said it once, and I really liked it. She's like, we come from a country and we're here doing this work, so it would be good to do it for where we are from as well. And I do
Right.
resonate with that. That sounds pretty good.
So my sister and my mom can actually understand what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes. And then we can practice our Polish,
Yes, definitely. We
even
need
though
to
we do have
practice.
accents.
Yeah. Don't
It's good to
forget
speak
where you
both.
came from.
No.
That's one thing because even going through painful times, when you growing up and it's challenging for you, what you went through made you who you are today. So
Mhm.
accepting that,
Yeah,
don't deny yourself the strength that you gained through experience because that's very important.
yeah,
Like I said, we all have stories, and
yes,
every story is different, but
right.
it's
So,
always. Mhm. Go
sorry,
ahead.
just so concluding, so Dorotka do you do raindrop as well?
Yes, I do raindrop. I do
Okay.
raindrop technique, and I really love receiving it, which is not always possible because there isn't very many people. There wasn't very many people in my neighborhood when I was in Chicagoland area. When I moved to Texas, that very little went to nothing. So yeah, it's challenging. I do it on myself for
Mm,
myself,
yeah,
but it's only on my feet because doing that on my spine is kind of challenging.
it's challenging. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember one time my cousins came over because our families and our friends we're not in the same circle, but we kind of are from the
Mm-hmm.
essential oil aspect. And I remember one time they visited and I was coming down with something, and oh my gosh, I was feeling terrible. I mean, I don't think I was feeling that like this ever, before. And Claudia, one of our cousins, that's what she did. She's like, let's do raindrops. She gave me a bunch of vitamin C
Mm-hmm.
to take and chug it with the water, and it was like a big jog that I needed to do. And she took me, to one of the rooms, and she did raindrop, and
Isn't
whoa,
that
10
amazing?
minutes,
I know.
10, yes, 10 minutes after this, I was sitting with my mouth open, and I could not believe what vitamin C and that raindrop technique did. I mean, when you and you know, it's the timing is important. When you're feeling like you're coming down with something, you have to react right away. And
Right. Hmm.
you know, and I was so glad that because I could have canceled the whole visitation, but I'm like, you know, come and then this is what we do. We oily people. You're feeling bad? Come on over.
We got oil for that.
We got an oil for that. And it's really magical. There's a bunch of stories that we can share with that.
Oh, some funny ones,
Yes.
seriously funny
Oh,
ones, and
oh,
we'll share that. We will share that with you guys.
definitely.
But today we're gonna say thank you for your time. Thank you for being here with us. Find us in our area. I'm in Cypress, Houston. I live in Bridgeland, and Sabina is in Wisconsin. What town again?
It's in Viroqua, and I do Reiki sessions where you can find out more about yourself and who you are and what energy
Connect.
sits in your body. I wrote a book on essential oils. My awakening and how they work was so intense that I decided to write a book. It was a journey as well. So there's, you know, so there's a lot of information that you can receive if you're looking for help and if you're trying to get better. There's a lot of stuff out there that can be done to help yourself. So reach out. Yes.
Definitely. And today we want to thank you again for being here with us. And until the next time,
And until the next time. So thank you for your presence. Thank you for your truth and integrity. We value that a lot. Thank you, Star Seeds. Thank you, light workers. And we'll see you here next time in the Cosmic Temple of Unity.
bye bye.
Bye bye.